Hello everyone, welcome. My name is John Cottrell. This is MBODY Yoga and Power Hour Yoga. This is a 60-minute power Vinyasa yoga practice, and I'm so glad that you're here. So we are going to be focusing on a particular body part that tends to get really tight. We're going to be doing releasing of the hips. So release tight hips. And so we're going to do some pretty dynamic postures in our flow today, but some of those postures are going to be holding. So get ready to get into some poses, hold them so you can really experience that hip release. And when we do that, you're also going to be working with low back. So if there's any tension in your low back, hopefully that will start to release. And also some of the work will be some hamstring stretching. So that will be our practice today. So here's what we'll be needing for our practice. You might want to have a couple of yoga blocks or something that resembles yoga blocks. It can even be some books that you can stack. This will be helpful. Something that's firm, because not only will you might be putting your hands on them, but we might also be sitting on them. So you might want to have some blocks. And I'm going to recommend a yoga strap or something that resembles a yoga strap. So if you've got something like this, like a jump rope or a belt, that'd be great. So go ahead and grab that because we will need that for our practice as well. Okay, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and begin. So I invite you to stand now. We're just standing near the top of the yoga mat. You might take a few deep breaths in and out. You might breathe in deeply through your nose and exhale completely through the nose or through your mouth. Do that a few more times, just as you're making this nice deep connection to self, moving inside and preparing for our practice together. When you take deep breaths like this, it takes your full attention. So it starts to push away the things that are going on outside of you so that you can pay attention to the things going on inside of you. So just continue with these slow, steady breaths. If you're able, make them audible. You can hear them. Breathe in a way that you can feel the breath. Notice how your body is responding to your breath. And that might mean just feeling the lengthening in your spine, feeling taller as breath rises to fill up your lungs. And as you exhale, you might draw your navel inward towards your spine, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. We're just engaging the center here. It doesn't have to be too strong or firm, just this awareness of your center body. A few more breaths like this. This is also a good time to create a personal intention for your practice. Since we'll be doing hip release, this is something that you might want to consider. We hold a lot of baggage in our hips. A lot of emotional energy likes to be stored in our hips. And so if some of that energy just needs to be dispersed, released, and even letting them go completely, you can do some good hip work. Go ahead and take 3 more slow breaths in and out. Use this as an energetic way to prepare for your movement. And when you're ready to move, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach nice and high. Take your time with this. Good stretch. Then exhale, will fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and slowly make your way down, maybe touching the ground. You can even just let your hands land at your shins. That's fine. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs, perhaps to your shins or knees, extending your spine, long, flat back. Exhale, let's fold, and we'll hold here for several breaths. Now again, you can make this a partial fold where you're not going all the way down. I just have my hands resting at my shins at the moment. Or if it feels okay, hang heavily forward. A little bit more bend in the knees, be heavy in the body. And then you can add a little bit of movement here, some free flowing of the body. You might even sway a little bit left and right, which also gets into the hips and low back. Because we're folded, we're getting a nice lengthening and stretch quality down through the backs of the legs. And even pay attention to your upper body. Check in with your shoulders, maybe a circling of the shoulders, gentle shaking of your head. You might nod yes, shake your head no, and another deep breath or two.
And then when you're ready, shifting your weight back into your heels, bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down. Look forward to extend your spine. Extend your arms out to the side. Then inhale to stand up all the way, straight legs. Then reach up into the air with straight arms. Exhale to bring your arms down by your side, coming back to mountain pose. Pause here, take a breath or two. Very nice. Let's just do that same sequence again. That's our half salute to the sun. When you're ready, inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, bent knees, making your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, feel the top of your head lead you forward to get that full extension. Exhale, let's fold, coming back down. Just a brief pause here. Again, it could be a partial fold or hang forward. Sometimes we call this ragdoll. Then shift your weight into your heels, bend your knees, feel like you're sitting, look forward to extend your spine, spread your wings, reach out, stand up. Inhale, reach high, exhale, arms back down by your side. Just return to stillness, hold here. Good, hold. All right, that's our half salute. Let's go ahead and continue with our full sun salutation, starting with Series A. Whenever you're ready, inhale, reach nice and high, strong straight arms. Exhale, fold forward. Again, soft knees, hinging at the hips, making your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway. Nice long flat back like a table. This exhale, fold, bend, come all the way down to place your hands on your mat in front of your feet and step both of your feet back until you're in a long straight line, a high push-up position, plank pose. Take a breath in. And exhale, bend the knees slightly, then lift your hips up into the air. I consider that a shortcut from plank pose, moving into downward facing dog, this inverted posture. Take a moment to settle into the pose, adjust your feet if you need to. With your hands, you might spread out your fingers pretty wide. Press firmly into the ground with your hands so you feel energy in your arms, feel steady and strong. Even feel your hips lift up a little higher, creating a little bit more extension in your spine and whole torso. Take a nice full breath in, ready to move. Exhale, draw navel to spine. Bend your knees, walk, step, or jump. Both feet up to the top of the mat. Once there, inhale to extend your spine. Exhale, fold. Once again, weights in your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up, reach high. We're going to keep this moving. On the exhale, take chair pose. Sitting back into the imaginary chair, weight shift into the heels. Inhale, reach out through your arms. Exhale, dive out of your seat, downward towards your toes, forward fold. Let's keep it moving. Inhale, rise up halfway, long extension of your spine. Exhale, fold, bend, place your hands on the mat. Walk, step, or even jump both feet back, plank pose. Once there, breathe in. Exhale, bend elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your whole body down in a straight line. Inhale, press hands into the floor, straightening your arms so you can lift your chest so it's facing forward as you look forward. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your knees up into the air, lift your hips all the way up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Settle in, make those quick adjustments. Take a breath. Let's continue with our lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Reach long through the leg. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Landing. Turn left heel to the floor. Make sure you place good energy and weight in that back foot. Your torso is extended over the right leg. Inhale, let's float up. Warrior one. Reaching nice and high. Exhale, we're folding forward again to bring the hands back down to the mat in front. Let's step that right foot back, meeting the other. Plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, bend elbows, lower your way down. It's Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. You can even do cobra pose right there if you'd like. And exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale to extend left leg up, reaching through your toes behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Turn right heel to the floor, shifting weight back so there's some balance. Extending your torso over this front leg. Inhale, let's rise up, reach up into the sky. This is first warrior. Exhale, hinge, fold, hands back down to the ground. Step left foot back, plank pose. Let's finish our sequence. Bend elbows, come down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're just going to take a brief pause here. So I invite you to bring your knees to the floor. We're sitting back into child's pose. I like to take my knees a little wider before sitting back and down into child's pose. Now you're welcome to extend your arms out front. Your forehead might come all the way down to the mat, or maybe you've got a block or even like a pillow or blanket, something like that. Just a few breaths here, just to take a little pause, some deep breaths, maybe even returning to your personal intention. Again, if there's something that you would like to release today, perhaps this practice will help to encourage that. If your arms are out front, you can keep them there or even bring your arms behind you like this, like you're reaching for your feet. That'll relax your shoulders. Just a few more breaths. We're just taking a little pause here because we're going to go right back into our lunge sequence and just add on to it. 2 more breaths here in child's pose. After that second breath, let's get the hands underneath us so we can come up to hands and knees. Since we're here, let's take cat and cow. So inhale, look up or forward, a slight arch in the back. It's like a mini back bend. Exhale, round it out. So chin comes in towards chest or rounded spine. Belly button pulls up towards spine. Inhale to reverse it. Feel your pelvis tip backward. Belly drops, heart opens, look forward. Exhale, round it all out. Tug tailbone underneath. Feel the curvature in the spine. Maybe do 2 or 3 more on your own. This is a nice way to undulate through the spine, so release through the whole back. But since there's that rocking of the pelvis, we're getting into our hips. After that second or third flow here, come back to stillness. Just pause in this tabletop position. We're going to return to down dog. Before you do that, you might step your hands forward a little bit so your hands are out from underneath your shoulders. Then tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift hips, and that should put you in the right spot for downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and continue. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up. Let's reach and hold for a moment. As you're reaching through your foot to the back wall, maybe even the ceiling, make sure your hands are pressing firmly into the ground. Good reaching sensation in these opposite directions. Or you're going to bend this right knee, bring heel in towards backside, like you're going to kick yourself, lifting the knee up into the air slightly. It'll even feel like it'll start to point to the right side of the room. It's a hip opener. Let's hold that for a couple breaths. Very strong posture. Take a breath in, then exhale, unwind it, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor. Feel grounded and connected back there. Straight torso over the front leg. Inhale, rise up. Inhale, warrior 1. And our exhale, opening to warrior 2. Very nice, right here. Let's take the feet a little wider. Actually, relax your arms, bring your arms down. Let's pay attention to the feet and legs for a moment. Let's just move the right foot forward a tiny bit, not much. And the left foot back, same distance, not that far, but just a little wider between the feet, and then lunge a little deeper. And just notice that there's a lengthening stretch quality in the right inner thigh. Then let's return to our warrior 2 arms. Be sure your right knee is pointing forward. There's even an energy of the right side of the thigh here, the right side of the leg is moving to that right wall, moving in that direction. That'll keep things open in front here. Side angle, reach forward to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate your arms to encourage that leg opening. Brace this right arm against the inside of the leg and keep it moving towards the right side of the room behind you. Left hand, in the meantime, is reaching straight up into the air. Good extension, nice opening. Lengthening and maybe some release through the left side of the body. Let's breathe in. Exhale, turn. Bring the hands to the floor. Let's step back into plank pose. Pause in plank. Inhale for more length in the body here. Exhale, bend knees, lift hips into the sky, down dog. Adjust, connect. Other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Reach and hold as you exhale. Hands press a little bit more firmly into the ground. Reach more through your toes behind you, lifting into the sky, lengthening. Let's open it up. Bend your knee. Bring heel down towards backside. Lifting the knee up. Feel like it's pointing. Actually, it will be pointing towards the left side of the room. It'll open up the hip. A couple more breaths here. Feel this. Very strong. Breathe in. As you exhale, unwind. Send the left foot up to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the floor. Feel grounded. Lengthen your torso over this front leg. Inhale to float up, warrior 1. Here's our exhale to warrior 2. Pause for a moment to arrive. Relax your arms so we can adjust the feet. Take the left foot forward a little bit. The right foot back, same distance. Lunging a little deeper. Left knee and toes pointing forward, and energy of the outer left thigh moving to the left side of the room. Let's return our arms outward, Warrior Two position. Let's follow the left hand forward to angle the upper half of the body. Let's rotate the arms, placing us in side angle pose. Again, this left arm now braced against the inner left thigh, continuing that energetic movement of the leg towards the left side of the room to keep that good opening in the left inner thigh. Inhale, reach a little higher through the right hand. Exhale, let's turn, hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose, hold. And then another shortcut to down dog. Hold for a couple breaths in your down dog. And after those couple breaths, we're going to go down to the ground. We're going to take a seat and then lie down. So you're welcome to kneel down to take your seat, or you might even hop forward, cross your legs, take a seat in the center of your mat, and go ahead and roll down onto your back. We're going to take bridge pose. Now, a lot of our work today is actually going to be on the floor. And this is our first stage here. So you're lying down with your knees bent, feet flat on the ground. And just like in child's pose, just take a few moments here. Just get settled in. Feel your whole back body now connecting to the ground, settling in. You might even close your eyes for a few seconds so you can concentrate on your breathing, noticing the sensation of the ground underneath you. 2 more breaths. Getting ready to re-engage the body. All right, here we go. Start breathing in, fill up your lungs. Exhale to engage your belly. You might even feel your low back press down into the ground, then peel away from the ground, lifting your hips up. Take your arms and shoulders a bit underneath you if you're able. I'm going to adjust my feet here just for a little bit more strong of a base. Then, if you'd like, you can bend your elbows at 90 degrees, pressing down into the floor with the arms. That too might feel a little bit more stabilizing for the body, and continue with your deep breathing. Now this too can get into your hips. Yes, it's a heart opener, it's a back bend, but kind of pay attention to the middle section of your body, your belt line, okay? Or even just below the belt line, the hip flexors, upper thigh area, because all that's engaged, but it's also opening. If you tend to sit a long time each day, these areas of the body can get pretty tense, bound up. So our intention for part of our practice is to release some of that tension. All right, 2 more breaths. You might even feel your glutes engaging and hamstrings. That's a good thing too. Let's wiggle the toes forward a bit. Extend your arms straight up into the air, then roll your way back down to the ground. Hug both knees into chest. We're going to do some more work down here, okay? All right, you're going to release the left leg and extend it out onto the floor, straight as can be. Flex the left foot so the leg stays active, okay? So it's doing something. So we've got the right knee kind of hugging in. We're going to half happy baby pose. So we're going to take this in stages. So right now the knee is just coming straight up towards chest. Now there's a limit as far as how far that can go. If we start to take this right leg and right knee slightly to the right side, and then draw up towards shoulder, we might go a little deeper, okay? Just noticing that change. Now happy baby. You can stay just like this, or the bottom of the right foot is facing the ceiling, and if you can, reach up to grab hold of the bottom of the foot. And we're going to press down slowly, carefully, gently, as if the knee is going to come down towards the ground to touch it. Now we want this left side to stay pretty stable, so that's why you have that left foot flexed. You might even take your left arm on the floor to help you stabilize, so you still feel flat on the ground. Since we're putting a little bit more extra energy and effort in that right leg, since we're gently pressing down, you don't want to feel like you're going to rock and roll over to the right side of the room. Let's take some deep breaths here. Now you can stay static, hold the posture, or you might just add a little movement. I'm just doing a slight kicking sensation, as if I'm about to straighten the right leg, but not completely. Just a little kick, just a little back and forth motion, just to get into that hip socket. Deep breaths here. Okay? By holding these postures, we're getting into those tight areas, giving them an opportunity to release. 2 more breaths. All right, stay where you are with this happy baby, but you're going to bend the left knee, plant that left foot onto the ground. Okay, now you're going to take this right foot, basically the right ankle, and cross right ankle over left thigh, like that. Keep the right foot flexed. Okay, so we basically just crossed your leg here. We're getting into another hip opener. This is eye of the needle pose. So you might feel something here, but if you're not feeling much, then you may want to lift the left foot off the ground, bringing both legs toward your chest. Here's where you thread the needle. Take your right hand, go right through the eye of the needle there. Take both hands, hold on to left shin or left hamstring. Gently drawing the legs in closely. You may feel this on that right leg. I feel this in my glute and outer hip. Deep breaths here. Both feet are flexed. It just keeps the legs active and helps them to stabilize while we're holding this posture. The main thing here is just focus on your breathing. Again, we're going to be holding some postures today. There is some flow, but we're going to be holding some postures. 3 more breaths. Eye of the needle pose. Sometimes we call this reclining pigeon. All right, let's release. Bring the left foot back down onto the ground. Uncross right leg, both feet on the ground. Hold here just as if you were preparing for bridge so everything can relax and come back to neutral alignment. Ready for the other side. Let's extend the right leg straight out onto the floor. Flex the right foot. Keep it active. Hug left knee in. Catch it in your hands. Just pull it straight up and just notice that natural stopping point. Hold there for a few seconds. We're going for half happy baby on this side. Start to take the knee out to the left side. Continue drawing it up towards shoulder. Notice that you can go a little further there. Half happy baby. You can stay just like this. Just hold onto the knee and shin, or kick that foot upward towards ceiling. Reach up from the inside of the leg, holding onto the bottom of the left foot, and then gently press down. Remember, right leg is staying strong by flexing the right foot. You might even bring a right arm to the ground, kind of out to the side, so you stay pretty well connected to the floor. You're getting that nice hip release on left side. Deep breathing here. You can even do a little bit of motion here just to wiggle out some of that tension. Imagine you're kind of kicking it out, kind of creating this mild kicking sensation. I like doing happy baby pose one leg at a time because you tend to be able to get a little deeper into the posture. All right, 2 more breaths. After the second breath, keep hold of the pose, but bend right knee, plant the foot into the ground. We're going to cross left ankle over right thigh now, preparing for eye of the needle. Hold here for a moment. Check in to see if this is enough sensation. If not, you're going to lift the right foot, draw the legs towards self. Thread the needle with the left arm. Hold on to right shin or hamstring. Flex both feet just to keep them energized. Now I'm noticing my left side tends to be a little tighter than the right side, so I can really feel this. So I'm going to take more, or I'm going to take deeper breaths. Even imagine I'm sending that breath directly down into that tight space. Glute, I'm feeling this in the upper hamstring area and then outer hip. Just notice where you have sensation. Three more breaths. After your third breath, we're releasing. Bring right foot back down to the floor, uncross leg. Both feet on the ground, knees bent. Come back to neutral, hold. Feel everything just kind of soften into the ground. Take a breath. All right, let's draw both knees into chest. Start to rock forward and back, regaining some momentum. With a good exhale, whenever you're ready, rock your way up to boat pose. Okay, again, feet are flexed just to keep them energized. The knees can stay bent. Feel free to hold on to the legs as a way to really keep the spine extended. Feel like you're trying to lift yourself up as if you were in a chair, but trying to get up out of the chair. As you inhale, we're filling up the lungs. Exhaling, engaging the belly. Okay, let's keep it moving. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front, hop or step back, plank pose. Strong straight line. Let's take it down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here for a moment. Full breath in. And exhale, walk, step, or jump, both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale to extend spine. And fold. Brief pause there so you feel that stretch through the legs. Release in the low back. Then weight shift into the heels. Bend your knees, look forward. Spread your wings. Inhale, reach high. All the way up. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. All right, so it's a lot of work on the floor, and we will be doing more work on the floor. But let's do some work standing. So since we're standing, let's just do tree pose, because it's a good balancing posture, but it's also a hip opener. Now, if you'd like, you can always use a wall or a post or a chair or a table or something just to place your hand on to help you balance, because we might be holding this a little longer than usual. Okay, start shifting your weight over to right foot, root it down into the floor. Take a nice full breath in, feel taller, breath rising to fill up your lungs. Exhale, connect to center. We're lifting the left foot, flex the foot, thigh comes to parallel. Swing knee out to the side. That's our hip opener, placing foot on the inside of the standing leg. Okay, knee mostly pointing to the left side of the room. At first, let's go ahead and inhale, reach all the way up into the air with the arms. Exhale, navel to spine. Couple breaths here. We'll do a couple changes since we'll be holding this posture. So a nice extended feeling, reaching high. Maybe one more breath like this. Keep the balance if you're able, but bend elbows to a goalpost shape. One more breath. I'm taking 3 or 4 breaths here. Then extend your arms straight out like you're doing Warrior 2 arms. 3 breaths. And then bring hands to heart center. 3 breaths. Focus on something out in front of you that will help you with your balance as well. Go ahead and keep your hands at heart. Swing left knee forward. And plant the foot down into the ground. Let's sweep both arms up into the air to fully extend. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Excellent. Now it's okay if you needed to step out of that pose while we're in it, okay? But now that we're out, let's go ahead and give our toes a bit of a stretch, your ankles, knees, hips, even your shoulders. Kind of shake all that out. And we're going to do the other side. Start shifting weight now into left foot whenever you're ready. Plant it into the ground. Feel tall. Inhale. Exhale, core engage. When you're ready, floating right foot up, flexing the foot to keep the legs strong and energized. Thighs parallel here. We'll swing the knee out to the side. There's our hip opener. Hips are still square here, by the way. Okay, so the knee is pointing out to the side, but the hips are square. Then inhale, reach up into the sky. Exhale, connect to your core center. We'll hold 3 breaths. Good reach here. Since we're not holding this very long, get that good energetic reaching sensation. Let's bend elbows to our cactus pose. And reach out, Warrior 2 arms, 3 breaths. And bring hands to heart center, 3 breaths. Go ahead and keep your hands at heart center. Swing right knee forward, and then plant the foot into the ground. Let's inhale, sweep both arms up into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. All right, let's keep the body moving. Let's get back into a flow. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor. Walk, step, or hop both feet back. Plank, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist open, hip opener. Exhale, unwind, step through, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel plants into the floor. Inhale, rising, warrior one. Exhale, opening, warrior two. Take a quick moment, take the feet a little wider, lunge a little deeper. Then, side angle, reach, maybe reach more. Side angle, right arm down, left hand up. Brace this arm against the inner right leg, keep that hip opening. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back into down dog. You're sweeping the right foot back and up into the air. Hold, reach, good extension. Inhale for more length. Exhale, return right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to high lunge. Left heel stays lifted. All 10 toes are pointing forward. We are shifting weight back slightly so we're balanced. Inhale, rise. Hold. Reach up, lunge low. Hug to center. Inner leg squeezing to midline. Belly pulling in. Even squeezing an imaginary ball between the hands. Then we're going to rise up, straightening this front leg. Pivot left heel to the floor as you turn sideways, bring the arms down to parallel. We're prepped for triangle. Let's take triangle pose. Reach out over right leg, rotate arms, right hand down, left hand up. This too will get into the hips and hamstring of this front leg. Let's take several breaths here. There's even an energy of your belt buckle moving forward, a little push forward. Alrighty? Keeps a nice alignment here. Now that might mean you're not reaching down pretty far. You could push the hips back slightly. You probably can't see me do this, but I'm pushing the hips behind me a little bit, and that might allow you to take up this a little deeper, or lower, I should say, okay? So there's different sensations or different ways you can be in this pose. I'm liking this at the moment, so it gets really nicely into the side bodies, right at the pelvis right here. All right, to come out of the pose, we're going to bend the right knee into a lunge. Come up, pass through warrior two, reverse your warrior, reaching right hand up into the air. And then windmill, bring the hands down to the floor. Let's step back, plank pose, come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, flow right up into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend and twist open. When you exhale, unwind, step through. Right heel plants into the floor. Warrior one, rising high. Exhale, opening warrior two. Take a quick second to take the feet a little wider, lunge deeper. And then side angle pose. Rotate the arms, left hand reaching down, right hand reaching up. A little extra action of keeping the outer left thigh moving towards left side of the room. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Back to down dog. We're sweeping the left foot back and up into the air. Down dog, leg extended. Hold for the extension. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat for high lunge. Right heel stays lifted. All 10 toes pointing forward, shifting weight back. So the hands are light, so you can inhale to float up, reach high, lunge low, squeeze to center. Feel the legs activate. Now this might be getting to the right hip flexor. That's a good thing. Now we're rising, straightening both legs, straight as can be. Pivot right heel to the floor as you turn sideways, arms come down to parallel. Prepped for triangle. Reach out over this left leg, rotate the arms. Now, if you push pelvis forward, aligning everything, you might not go down very low. For me, my hand just lands right at my thigh or knee. But if you push the hips back, or towards the left side of the room, just a little bit will do, then you might be able to go a little lower down the leg towards knee or shin. So both are correct. Okay, you're getting into the hips because of the side bend sensation, but definitely in this left hamstring. Coming out of the pose, we're bending the left knee for a lunge. Come up, pass through warrior two to reverse your warrior. Left hand reaching into the sky, another left side body stretch. Windmill, bring the hands down to the floor. Let's step back, plank pose, complete the series. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, hold for a second. Then come down to your knees. Maybe hero pose.
This is where you might want to have your blocks. Just have them handy, just next to you so you can bring them in, because you might need them for a seat. We're going for a yogi squat. Okay, I'm not going to demonstrate it. We're just going to go right into it. Okay, just follow me. Return to down dog. All right, we're taking a breath in. Now, when we exhale, we're hopping forward, landing with the feet wide, toes turned out, knees bent, hips drop, come down. So we're like this. Now, if you need a little extra balance or lift, use those blocks. Sit on the blocks. I'm going to turn to face you for a moment so you can kind of see that I'm in this squat position. I'm just turning around here. And we're going to hold this for a few breaths. So basically, I'm just going to sit on the blocks for this. Legs are wide, knees bent. Kind of think of this as happy baby pose, something very similar to that. But with the arms, since the arms are on the inside of the legs, push gently outward. And my back is slightly rounded. You can probably see I'm kind of hunched over. So with the arms pressing into the legs, use it as leverage to help extend spine, lifting. And that actually brings more sensation to the stretch in the inner thighs. Hands can just come to heart center. Several breaths here. So I'm calling it yogi squat because you're in a squat, but this is also a preparation pose for garland pose, which is a bind. We're not going there, but this kind of gets you ready for that particular position. Three more breaths. All right, we're placing the hands on the floor in front, kind of lifting the hips. If you got the blocks, lifting away from the blocks, move your blocks out of the way. Once they're out of the way, hands are out in front of you. Lift your hips so you can step both of your feet back and just come to a straight line plank pose. Strong straight line, hold. Bend your knees, hips to sky. Shortcut to down dog. Okay, we're going to do more floor work. Okay. Hop forward, cross your legs to take a seat, or just kneel down to take a seat. You're going to extend both legs out in front, right here, going to staff pose. Place the hands on the floor by your hips, push into the ground to help extend spine, so you're sitting up nice and tall. Again, flexed feet to keep the legs energized, straight as can be. Even roll the shoulders back. Feel the heart lead forward. All right, relax just a little bit. We're going to get more into the hips. Let's work the left leg since my left leg happens to be facing you. So I'm going to bend my left knee just like this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up the foot. A lot of balance here, so you're kind of leaning back like you're doing boat pose. So what we're doing, we're taking this leg, lifting. I've actually put the foot in my right hand, lifting. I'm trying to get this leg over my arm. Basically just take the arm underneath like that and just draping this leg over the arm. You might even be able to hold on to the foot now with the left hand. Sitting up as tall as can be. So there's a pose, it's like a bow and arrow, where imagine this was a bow and arrow and you're pulling the string back, the foot is the string, and you're pulling it back. Make sense? Getting ready to let go and the arrow is going to shoot. Okay, so that knee is pulling back, sitting up as tall as can be. That's getting into the hips here. If you need balance, just place this right hand on the floor somewhere to help stabilize. Okay, now this is actually a prep pose to bring, yes, leg behind the head. Leg behind the head pose. We're not going there today, but this is kind of a prep for that. 3 more breaths. Alrighty. We're going to release. I'm just going to place the foot in the opposite hand again so I can release this left arm. Place this foot back down on the ground, extend, and let's just kind of neutralize the body, come back to neutral. Hands on the floor, by your hips, nice and tall, straight legs, straight spine. Take a couple of breaths. You know what we're going to do? Let's add a forward fold here. Let's inhale, reach up into the sky. Exhale, hinge a bit, bring hands down, touching the legs. Another inhale to get more spinal extension. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Perfectly fine if your knees bend and or your back rounds. This will help a little bit too into releasing the low back a little bit after that, that bow and arrow pose we just did. And this is more hamstring stretch. And since we're folded forward, as you're able, breathe deeply into your back body. Like you're trying to send your back expanding, opening up to the wall that's behind you. 2 more breaths. Let's release the feet, reach all the way up into the air. Exhale, hands down by your side, return to the staff pose. Let's do bow and arrow on the other side. I'm just calling it that. There is a real name for this. All right, let's bend the right knee, leaning back a little bit for balance. We're lifting the foot. Grabbing hold of the right foot with left hand, so I can lift it a little bit, because I'm going to take right arm, reach underneath, so I can drape this arm, the leg over the arm. It's almost like you're trying to get the leg to come over your shoulder, okay? Because that's what's going to help you get the leg eventually behind your head. But we're just going here. So now I've got a hold of the foot with the right hand, using the left hand on the floor for balance. Really is a way to help extend spine. And then pull the arrow back. The knee is trying to move towards the wall behind you. Your heart feels like it's going forward. And that's what's going to kind of get into that hip. In a way, it's almost like happy baby pose. We're basically just doing this sitting up rather than lying down. So it's a different sensation. It's a different dynamic that's happening here. Take 3 more breaths. Alrighty. Left hand to right foot, so I can lift it and get this arm out from underneath. Placing foot on the ground, re-extend. Staff pose, straight leg, straight spine, shoulders back, heart forward. Take a couple breaths here. Okay, we're going to continue our work on the ground here, but grab your strap. Make sure you're sitting in the center of your mat. Roll down onto your back. Hug both knees into chest. Get a little roundedness in the spine, just like we did in that seated forward fold. This might help bring some relief to the low back area, especially after that last posture. Okay, we're releasing right leg to the floor, extending it, flex the foot. Is your strap nearby? Grab your strap, because we're going to unwind that strap, wrap it around the bottom of the left foot, and extend the left leg straight up into the air as best as you can. Okay? Both feet are flexed, so right foot's flexed, left foot is kind of naturally flexed since we've got the strap around it. You can keep a softness in the knee if you need to. As we inhale, we're feeling the heels, both feet, move away. In this case, left heel towards the ceiling, right heel towards the front of the room. That's a lengthening and extension of the leg. Inhale. As you exhale, a little tug of the strap, sending the toes over your head behind you. Okay? Even if it's barely a movement at all. Notice the sensation in the left hamstring. Now, as I mentioned before, my left leg is a little tighter than my right, so my motions won't be that extensive. But I certainly do feel this, so notice your sensations. Here's the next posture. Come back to neutral, but legs still straight up in the air. Just decrease that stretch a little bit. Place your right hand on your right pelvis. Even push it down towards the floor so it stays in place. Make sure you feel that connection to the ground on your right side. Slowly start taking left leg straight out to the left side. As it's coming down, bend the left elbow until it can touch the ground. Okay? You're just using that as a little bit of a foundation. Okay, so now I got a good hold of the strap. The foot is just lassoed into the strap and taking it slowly out to left side. I'm even feeling like my toes want to move towards the wall up by my head. So I'm getting a little bit more of a stretch. And one last thing here is an outer spiral rotation, meaning you're feeling like you're turning your leg outward so your toes start to point towards the floor. Notice that sensation, inner thigh release. And you're still flat on the ground. Make sure your right side has not lifted off the ground. Okay, we're holding for 3 more breaths. After your 3rd breath, we're bringing this left leg back up to ceiling. Now we're switching hands on the strap. So right hand is now holding on to strap. Take your left hand, free it up, place it on left hip. Okay, you kind of get it, tuck it in there, and push hip down towards the floor so it stays connected to the floor. And then slowly start taking right foot, crossing the midline, moving towards the right side of the room. Now for me, that's not very far. I'm already feeling this lengthening stretch quality down through the outside portion of my left leg. Plus, you want to try to keep that hip connected to the ground. If you take the leg too far, let me just show you. If I take the leg all the way over, it turns into a twist. My left side has come off the ground. Okay, that's not our intention for this particular pose. Try to keep everything connected to the ground. Left leg is crossing midline. You want to feel as if the foot is reaching away up towards the ceiling at this angle, while the hip draws down towards the floor, creating the stretch. 2 more breaths. We're coming back to center. Bend the knees so you can release the strap. All right, go ahead and come to Shavasana just for a moment, just to bring balance, release, and ease to the body, since we're really engaging the entire body. So take a moment in this preview to Shavasana, because we're not done yet. And let's get ready for the other side. So let's start by flexing the left foot. That left leg is active. Draw right knee towards chest. And of course, we're wrapping the strap around the right foot. Extending leg up towards the ceiling. Again, it's okay to keep a slight bend in the knee. Both feet are flexed. As we inhale, the heels are moving away from the body. Right heel towards ceiling, left heel towards the front of the room. When you exhale, a little tug of the strap to send the toes over your head. Feel that stretch, feel that lengthening. Take your time with this, because we don't want to send too much excitement really to the hamstring, making it tense up. Now you want sensation, or you will have sensation, but we want to make this a gradual progression towards the stretch so it relaxes. 2 more breaths. All right, come back to neutral with that leg, so it's straight up. Stay there. Take your left hand, place it on left pelvis. Press down so that pelvis stays connected to the floor. At least your back side stays connected to the floor, so you're still flat on the ground. Slowly start taking right leg to the right side of the room. Take your time, because you're bending this right elbow. You might have to reposition your hand on your strap so the elbow can come to the floor. So it acts as a base. Tug on the strap. That's going to give you more support and control of the foot in the strap. Flexed foot going down to the right side, but then kind of that kick where the toes are moving towards the wall that's by your head. Outer spiral. Turn the leg outward so it feels like, or it looks like, your toes are pointing towards the ground. Feel the stretch. Check in with your left side. Is it still connected to the ground? So a lot of energy work, lots of things to pay attention to. Three more breaths.
Slowly bringing this leg back up to center. Once it's at center, we're switching hands on the strap. Left hand on strap, right hand comes down to hip to plug it into the ground. Then, slowly taking right leg, crossing the midline at an angle here. Hopefully, maybe a stretch sensation in the outside portion of the right leg. Now, you might have sensation elsewhere. Might be along the shin, calf. Just check in. Or you may not have a lot of sensation at all. All right, but this is still a good stretch and lengthening, particularly in the IT band of the right leg in this case. 3 more breaths. Okay, we're coming back up to center. Bend the knee, release strap. Okay, we're done with the strap. Place it on the floor, hug both knees into chest. Some movement here. Now, that was a lot of just holding still. We're going to do one more flow. Yes, one more flow, and then we'll go to Shavasana. So rock yourself up with a good exhale, landing in boat. Nice extended spine. Core engaged. Breathe in, we're going to move. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A warrior 1 series. Inhale, reach straight up with the right leg. Right leg, reach up into the sky. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants into the ground. Reach forward, rise up. Warrior 1. Exhale, fold. Bring hands back down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Bend elbows. Lower your way down in a straight line. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants. Long spine over torso. Or over leg. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinge, fold. Hands to the floor. Back to plank pose. Complete your series. Coming down. Inhale, up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pause. Now we'll make our way back down to the floor. Just bringing that fire back up into the body. Okay, hop forward, cross legs, take a seat. Sit in the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. You can hug knees into chest. A few circles, rocking left and right, forward and back. Let's take a regular happy baby pose. Flex feet, take knees wide, opening. Feet up towards ceiling, grab hold of the bottoms of the feet with both hands here. Press down. Now keep this rocking left and right sensation. I particularly like this one. It gets into the hips a little bit, kind of naturally because of the rocking sensation, and a bit of a massage for the muscles that support the spine, especially down in the low back region. A couple of more rocking sensations, and then we'll take reclining cobbler's pose, more the traditional version where we bring the soles of the feet together, hold on to the feet or ankles with your hands, gently press heels down towards pelvis, even feel the back lengthen a little bit more, and then push with a little effort, pushing the knees or legs forward towards the front edge of the mat. Okay, so it opens up the hips. A few more breaths. Our last pose will be a twist. 2 more breaths in Baddha Konasana or Supta Baddha Konasana since we're lying down. Okay, release the feet, bring knees together, still hug knees in towards chest. Then take both knees over to the left side while right arm extends to the right side. Spinal twist. This too can get into the hips and low back. All right, how about 2 more breaths on this first side? And we'll come back up to center, pause there to realign. The knees over to the right side, extending left arm to the left. Three more breaths. We'll take the final few minutes of our practice together in Shavasana. So let's go ahead and return to center. You might hug the knees in one more time and then extend the legs out onto the ground. Now we're really in Shavasana. We can hold here. Arms just come down by your side. Maybe your palms are open, facing up. Release the feet and legs. That will also allow your hips to relax. Feel your whole body settle into the ground. Once you feel mostly settled, take a few deep breaths here, just to ensure that restfulness, that complete release and relaxation. This is a state of meditation. So feel free to close your eyes, moving inward. You may also keep your eyes open. You might just kind of gaze upward. Even gazing with the eyes open, staring at one little speck above you is also a way of really dialing into focusing on self. And maybe our practice helped release anything that might have been stored up in the hips. Stay here as long as you like. Even as I end the practice, you're welcome to stay right here. No need to move. Just take your time. And when it is time to move, just take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you're approaching your 5th breath, feeling movement return to your body, then moving very slowly, you might first roll carefully onto one side of your body into a nurturing pose. And then guide your way up just as slowly to a seated posture. You can sit with your legs crossed if you'd like. Nice and tall with a lengthened spine. Relaxed arms and shoulders, hands resting in your lap. Take a deep breath in and completely out. Final movement, we'll inhale, extend both arms up into the air. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold here for a moment in stillness, taking a breath in and out. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying, Namaste.